Hello and welcome to Glorious Miniatures. And in today's video, we've got the Sunday preview. This is a bit of a cheeky video. I genuinely wasn't expecting to be making it today. I'm using a different microphone, which is why potentially I sound a bit weirder than normal. So apart from that, I'm also on mobile internet, so let's just get stuck into it, shall we? Sunday preview, the slaves to darkness pour forth across the mortal realms. It's the first month of Warhammer releases in 2023, and the things are kicking off with a bang. A new season of match play is unleashed upon Warhammer Age of Sigmar, while Archaon and Bellicor muster new slaves to darkness, and the Warmaster steps foot onto the battlefields of Horus Heresy in a terrifying new form. Okay, let's scroll down and see what's what. Okay, we've got the General's Handbook, Pitch Battles 2022 to 23, Season 2. Okay, so this is no doubt updates for everything. Very important for generals in match play. Not really much of a surprise there. Galatian champions take center stage in a new season of matched play with a General's Handbook, Pitch Battles 2022-23 Season 2. This 96-page spiral-bound book contains a new battle pack, which focuses on supercharging your unmounted heroes. Alongside a slate of fundamental changes, there are a few battle plans, grand strategies, and battle tactics to mix up your games. This is a must-have for anyone who enjoys match play events in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. We got the battletome Slaves to Darkness. A dark storm coalesces over the mortal realms as battletome Slaves to Darkness arrives. This tome is 128 pages of Slaves to Darkness goodness, covering all of the lore and rules you need to know to field your own dark legions under the watchful eye of the gods. Very good stuff. I believe this was in the army box set, which came out a few months ago. So now it's got its general release. So very good for people who are interested in a bit of Slaves to Darkness action, as I am. One of the few sort of Age of Sigmar armies I'm still kind of tempted by. Obviously the Empire, Skaven, Slaves to Darkness, and I've forgotten the other one, frankly. I think it was just those three. Anyway, so this is a good time to get this book. Obviously, it's got the sort of fancy cover as well and whatnot. I believe they do two different versions, a sort of collector's edition and the sort of regular version, which is slightly cheaper. Let's have a scroll down, see what else they've got. Battletome will also be available in a limited edition version. If I'd scrolled down, I would have been able to read that for sure, which features gold gilt page edges, a soft touch cover, and a red ribbon bookmark. So there you go. It is slightly more. I believe that it's normally around £50. It is quite a slight more. Normally about £50, whereas the regular version I think is £35 or £30. I rarely get the limited edition version, but that is there for people who are interested. We got the Slaves to Darkness Vanguard box set coming out, 17 minis. I managed to get one of the old Start Collecting Slaves to Darkness box set, so this looks like this could potentially be an interesting purchase. See how it compares to that one. I can't quite remember what's in it off the top of my head. But here we go. Raise a warhost and run roughshod over the mortal realms of this Vanguard box, which contains 17 miniatures, including a Chaos Lord, 10 iconic Chaos Warriors in full multi-part glory, 5 Chaos Knights, and new upgrades as sprue, and a chariot which can be pulled by horses or a savage gore beast for line-breaking charges. Yeah, I believe this Start Collecting box set had some geezer on a Karkadrak. It had the Knights and it had the 10 of these guys, so I think this is the main difference here. This could be an interesting purchase to bulk out my army. I definitely do need some chariots. I think they're pretty fantastic, and always more meat shields are a good way of I don't know, playing. I like armies of meat shields marching to their doom or victory. Either way, it's a happy time. Okay, what else was there? That was Demon Prince. I have to say, this particular one, the head that they've chosen really doesn't sell this model at all for me. When I saw this face from this particular angle, I looked at it and thought, oh god, I hope there's a swap out head or a different version or something for it. Thankfully, I believe there are 4 different ones. The grand prize at the end of the Path to Glory is to be transfigured and granted immortality by becoming a Demon Prince. This kit is a true banquet of options, including a range of heads, thank god, with one for each of the Chaos Gods, a choice of weapons and more. It even transcends game systems, with war gear options to use this unholy champion in games of Warhammer 40,000. It's going to be excellent for me. I am have a Nurgle army, a Death Guard army, if you will. So this could very well be going into my Death Guard army, or indeed Slaves to Darkness. So I've got to make my mind up, or just get 2. From my memory, I do like the Tzeentch head. I can't quite remember the Nurgle variety that they have for this miniature. I'd imagine the Khorne one is the sort of angry demon the generic angry demon one. I can't quite remember. Maybe people in chat, maybe people in chat, maybe people in the comments below can tell me where I'm going wrong there. What version would you be building? I think I would be getting the Nurgly version. I believe that's more resilient off the top of my head. Anyway, it's a sweet new mini. I'm looking forward to getting my sweet, sweet hands on it. Let's have a scroll down. Okay, the Karkadrak. So this is the one which was in the old Start Collecting box set. The Chaos Lord on Karkadrak has been unchained and now roams free, grazing his reptilian beast on the corpses of his slaughtered foes. This bruiser is a solid choice for any Slaves of Darkness list. So thankfully I do have this mini, but it is now, as they say, loose and available for everyone. And what else we got here? Eternus, Blade of the First Prince. Look at this magnificent miniature. Wow. Okay. So I'm not too familiar with the Vanguard monster things. Are they similar to these? I can't quite remember. I know they're certainly bigger than the regular knights. However, let's have... It always helps if I read before I start wittering on. Archaeons, prime shock troops are known as the Vanguard. From this elite, Kadra, his eternal rival Be'lakor has plucked Eternus and imbued him with the souls of Stormcast Eternals, creating a champion for his own armies. This kit builds Eternus, Blade of the First Prince, or a generic Chaos Lord on demonic mount. Okay then. So it's a it's a yoinked Vanguard, and you get like a generic Chaos Lord, which is the one on the left right here, and this is the Eternus geezer right here. Both look pretty sweet. Would I get one of these? Probably. I mean, yes, I would get one. Would you get one? Let me know. I am tempted. I am tempted, but at the moment, storage is an issue, so we shall see. Let's scroll down. Exalted Hero of Chaos, with the action in Gallet, favouring heroes in New General's Handbook. Demonic mounts are out and comfy boots are in. This murderous champion will make an ideal pairing with a unit of Chaos chosen in a Galatian command detachment. This miniature looks really familiar. It looks... I can't quite place my finger on why it looks familiar. However, it does look familiar and I do like it as a result of that. So yes, for this one, absolutely. Chaos Chosen are elite warriors who love nothing more than using their soul splitter weapons to free their foes from the burden of the mortal coil. They're the hammer crushing all before them. Okay, so you get 5 minis here. You get a sort of banner bearer type thing, icon bearer, whatever you want to call it. A drummer moving everyone along to the sick beats that he's laying down. And you get 3 other sort of choppy ones. I don't know if one in particular is a quote unquote leader. But maybe you would get this geezer to lead them. Okay, Chaos Warriors. Look at these. Chaos Warriors are the iconic mortal bruisers of the forces of chaos, imbued with the dark blessings and clad in hell-forged armor. These imposing warriors march to battle with hand weapons or ensorcelled halberds, hacking away at foes from behind their hulking rune shields. I do like these. I especially like this, the idea of this being a flesh banner. A banner of flesh. Flayed flesh from their enemies. So they got ensorcelled halberds or hand weapons. Very nice. I think you really need a bit of a mixture of both because you need a bit of range, tiny bit of range. I think this is a 2-inch range on these things, whereas hand weapons, regular hand weapons, I believe are just 1. So quite good for the old choppy. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to paint my Chaos Warriors up yet. I've got no idea what scheme. Are we just going to go with metal? Are we just going to do that, or are we going to do with something else? Who knows? I really don't know. Well, I also like these flayed faces on this shield. Very nice, very nice. Chaos Knights. There are a few sights as terrifying as Chaos Knights thundering across the horizon. Lances down, ready to skewer their foes. This standalone release comes with an upgrade sprue, including command options to adorn your knights with an appropriately terrifying accessory such as banners, instruments, and champions paraphernalia. Always good to have that banner bearer or icon, whatever it's called. Is there a magic flute player? Or magic horn player, whatever the hell it is. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, I reckon another box of these would be rather sweet anyway. Scrolling down to the Ogroid Theridons. Slaves to Darkness armies feature no shortage of ways to pulverize their opponents. But if you're looking for a unit with just enough oomph, the Savage Ogroid Theridons are just a ticket. These hulking brutes tap into their bestial nature to lay their enemies low. There's another sweet banner bearer. I do like the way this is painted. It's the black and the red. Very snazzy. Always a good combination. They are chunky lads. Could be quite a lot of fun to paint if you're so inclined. As I said, I still can't figure out how I'm going to paint mine, so I'm going to have to hold off on those just for a little bit longer. Slaves to Darkness dice set. Just some classic black and white dice. I've got to really work on making my own dice at some point. Add the final piece to your Dark Panoply with this Slaves to Darkness dice set consisting of 20 dice cast in black and white and featuring an 8-pointed star of chaos on the 6th face. They're perfect for invoking the gods to bless your warriors with gifts rather than spawn them. Very good stuff. Classic black and white dice, always a good thing to have in your arsenal. Scroll down to Warhammer Horus Heresy and Horus Ascended. He is finally getting dropped. Ouch, my wallet said. Horus Lupercal has drunk deep of the power granted by his dark patrons to become Horus Ascended. The next release in the Horus Heresy character series is the Primarch of the Sons of Horus, the Emperor's traitorous warmaster at the peak of his powers. So as I said in a previous video, I didn't really like his previous version. He seemed a bit just underwhelming. This particular miniature, it seems a lot more kind of, I think the word powerful potentially was a word I used. A lot more, I was going to say a lot angrier potentially is one word I might have used, but it's definitely a nicer miniature in my humble opinion, and all my opinions are incredibly humble, obviously. Anyway, so yes, this one, obviously I don't collect Sons of Horus. I do like the idea of trying to paint up all of the Primarchs though, so this could very well be a good starting point. I do have Perturabo somewhere, and I do have Rogel Dawn all ready to go. So unfortunately, when we're doing unboxing videos of those, I'll hopefully get around to doing painting videos of them once I'm in a suitable place. But until then, we might just do a Horus Ascended. I'll see if I can do an unboxing video for that. It won't be quite the same as my previous ones, but it is what it is. Who else is going to be getting one of these minis? Absolutely fantastic. The previous one, I think, was also around about £75. I know Lionel is about £95 or something like that. So I'd imagine this one would be in this price range. His previous iteration was, I think, one of the first ones released, and as a result, kind of at that cheaper, quote unquote cheaper price range, whereas Lionel is much more recent and as a result, pricier. So who's keen? I know I am. This mighty warrior is outfitted with a serpent scales, Warmaster's talent, Worldbreaker, and comes with an optional scenic base that is covered in the skeletal detritus of war. He will be available globally from the forgeworld web store, but for those of you in the UK, Europe, and USA, he'll be on sale on the Games Workshop's web store too. And as you can see, we've also got Thousand Suns Mark 6 upgrades finally, and Ultramarines Mark 6 upgrades finally. You can equip your Thousand Suns and indeed your Ultramarine Mark 6 miniatures with both fancy shoulder pads and fancy helmets, etc. And obviously they've got the Baron faces as well. Very nice indeed, if that is your jam. And frankly, Ultramarines should be everyone's jam. So we've got the White Dwarf issue 484, boarding actions. Right there, fantastic stuff. Ooh, the first installment of the White Dwarf for 2023 is a bumper issue full of boarding actions content that sheds new light on this game mode and introduces missions and rules to fight battles on a Warp Touch Space Hulk. There are also plenty of extra rules and articles covering your other favourite Warhammer games in this action-packed issue. Okay, we've also got from Black Library, Garrow, Knight of Grey. So he gets a fancy, I'm going to scroll down here, fancy book right there. Clad in leather, so folks, be up extra early to fight over this. I'm not even going to bother. But that's that version. James Swallow tells the story of Nathaniel Garrow's final hours during the Horus Heresy and Garrow, Knight of Grey. The heroic warrior is drawn into an inevitable confrontation with his father, Mortarion. This limited edition is a gorgeous artifact bound in deep red faux leather with an inlaid metal emblem and features the author's signature plus interior art. It's limited to 2,500 copies. All right. Well, I might very well get this book, but not that fancy one. No. So it's available in standard hardback, ebook, or audiobook. I might just wait for the paperback version of this, in fact. I think I can wait. I've got enough books to be going on with. What else do we have down here? God Eater's Son. Not everyone is happy with the rule of order in the mortal realms. God Eater's Son finds an unlikely hero in Heldenar Fall. Noah Van Juygen, I butchered that name. Tale of an ordinary person fighting for freedom against the gods. Available in hardback, ebook, and audiobook formats. Okay, so some of that. We've got Soul Slayer. The problem with having a soul that survived the end of the world that was is that it burns so bright as to attract unwanted attention. As Gotrek quests across Shamon with his Fire Slayer kin, the envious eyes of Idoneth Deepkin regard him with dark intentions as Darius Hink's Soul Slayer comes to audiobook. Armor of Contempt. Ibram Gaunt returns to a planet he promised to save from the enemy in Armor of Contempt. What he finds is not a welcome return, but a people who have suffered the effects of occupation and are wary of their supposed imperial saviors. These books will be available to pre-order from Saturday. Keep up to date with the latest releases by signing up to the Black Library newsletter. Fantastic stuff. I know I personally have to get stuck into the Gaunt's Ghost books. I've not read any of them, so I think probably this year that is something that is one of my goals, reading-wise, to get stuck into those. I know they are good, and I'm just holding off for no particular reason. See what else we got down here. Warhammer Plus stuff. Ahead of the Slaves to Darkness release on Warhammer TV, Lawmasters tackles this cornerstone Age of Sigmar faction in depth. While Angels of Death Origins, Patience of Iron lands the second episode of the prequel series, focusing on the tech priest Castia. The Battle Report team has something orky and weird up their sleeve this week, with a special installment based on the classic graphic novel Death Squadron. Took me ages to read that for some reason. After you watch those, you can treat yourself to some classic White Dwarf, as issues 309 and 308 get added to the Warhammer Vault. It's always good stuff. All of this kind of stuff. All right, I'm just going to scroll straight up to the top. Folks, thanks very much for hanging out with me today. If you've made it this far, I'd like to say yay to you. I'm also currently working on a webpage. I've got the domain name. I'm currently trying to do a theme and all that kind of stuff, but that will be gloriousminiatures, all one word.com. I don't really have any content to be uploading to it yet. I don't even think right now it's visible to people, but it will become visible, and I am going to start writing articles as I sort of build stuff up. I'm not going to be able to do building videos while I'm in temporary accommodation, so it's just going to be written articles, I'm afraid, and stuff like that. But do check it out, and I will hopefully add something in the community tab when it's kind of properly live. And with that, folks, if you've made it this far and you haven't already subscribed, it would be amazing if you could do that. While content has slowed down a little bit, quite a lot at the moment because of the house move, I am continuing to keep YouTube as a main focus of mine going on into 2023 and further onwards. So make sure you've hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss those future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, and goodbye.